When I was a student at Sayreville in '54, it was one of the biggest high schools around. The state champion basketball games were being held there. Everything. It had a big gym. You couldn't imagine the size of the gym. And now if you look at it with the Wilson School, it's small. But we were a big school at that time. I went to all the games, football and basketball. It used to be fun. It used to be a big activity then. And even at the years that I was there, I was a class advisor. All the kids that, that was the whole activity. And one of the funny things, I think anyway, when we were serving that, we had the old football field down behind the Borough Hall. And we'd cook hot dogs at the football games and all. At that time, the Catholic people could not eat meat on Friday night, and they had a Friday night football game. We went out and bought tuna dogs. And they served tuna dogs instead of hot dogs. And it was fun to take because we could go over to Perth Amboy and then take 5 cents, take the ferry into Staten Island. And that used to be one of our social activities, because then we could take another train ride up to the Staten Island ferry and take that ferry into New York City. It was, for us, it was like a Sunday. 50 cents is all it cost you to take all those transportation up to the city and just turn around and come back. By the time I came back, Sayreville had opened. And I still would sometimes, no, I don't, not too much. No, I think really after I came back, then there are the shopping centers. Because I think Sayreville's opened in about 60 or 61. There were 2 grocery stores. There was a nice children's shop, because I used to go there and buy my children's clothes. Woolworth, Grants, Pennies. So it was just easier to go there. Prior to that, I'm trying to think, when I was still at home, we had to go to Perth Amboy to go to the grocery stores. But then when Sayreville opened, they had grocery stores there, and it was easier to go there. Yes, I remember. Because when we finally got the television, I was maybe in 7th or 8th grade. And it was a big thing, because then the neighbors used to come over and watch at our house, because we had one of the first ones. There is not much of a downtown Sayreville, really. We went more to South Amboy, because they had a lot more stores. They had a 5 and 10, they had a men's shop, they had kind of a department store, so it was easier to go there. Sayreville seems to be so big and so isolated. There's no town center, so to speak of. I know there's a one street, but it's not, you know what I mean? It's not really like a town center. When I was a senior, I went to 3 different factories. At that point, we used to go for 5 weeks at a time. I went to National Lead, Hercules, and then Rutgers. We would go there for 5 weeks for training. But then seniors went all day, except for the business students that went half a day to school and half a day to work. I would say they didn't give you menial jobs to figure you're no one. I mean, they gave you responsible jobs to work at. And you really got a good training program there. I mean, at that time you still wore heels. You never wore slacks. You had to be dressed properly. Yes, when I first went back to teaching, we still, even teachers had to wear jackets. You could not wear slacks. I was there quite a few years before we were told that we could wear slacks. You had to wear a pantsuit, as it was referred to, a matching outfit. It was very different. And I can honestly say that I remember after it happened talking to some of the girls in my shorthand class. And when they started to go to where the girls started wearing slacks and all, they said, it's changing. It was like a downfall, so to speak. It, I don't know how to describe it. Like it lost some of the effect of appearance, people caring about how they looked and everything. It did have an effect on the school system, I think. When I first started teaching, as a teacher, if you said something, the parents respected it and backed you up. But it gradually got to a point where the parent controlled in a lot of cases. If you said something about their student, it was your fault, not the kid's fault. When the curriculum, in the sense that the demands that go more, and I remember the comment being passed, everybody should go to college and it should be more college prep and forget the business. We went from 13 business teachers, now they only have 3.